everyone, it's Imogen and welcome back to Colouring Good. In today's video I wanted to bring you the 10 books that I've chosen for the colouring tag titled 10 Untouched Books to Colour in 2021 tag. So this tag was created by Camille Bell and I was tagged by the wonderful Rosie from Rosie Crafted Colours. I will link both of their channels in the description for you. And I can't wait to show you the 10 I've chosen. When I originally thought of the books that I was going to do for this tag, I hadn't coloured in any of them. I have since completed a page in this book and started one in one of the other books. So technically, when I thought of the books for this video, I hadn't coloured in any of them, but now I've managed to tick one off the list. So I hope they still count and that's all right. But yeah, I'm just going to get started. So this first book is the new Airy book titled Beyond the World Fairy Tale Colouring, something along those lines. And this was a book that I got late last year, well, kind of beginning of this year, but I absolutely love it. And I'm so pleased with the page that I have done. I'm not going to show it to you because it will be in my upcoming completed pages video. But this is just absolutely gorgeous. And you do get information about each of the fairy tales, and there are definitely some in here that I would like to read up on and, you know, learn a bit more about them, because there are some that I don't know. And it's just so interesting that, you know, the fact that all of the pictures have a story behind them. This is all the information that you can find, and this is the Japanese edition. So the paper, for me, I prefer a lot more to the paper in the English version. So I just think it's a wonderful book, and if you love her style, this is definitely a must-have. I'm not sure when or if she's coming out with a new book, but I'm really excited to see. And although this is done with toothpicks, like all her other books, this is the normal kind of darker line art. It's not like the tracing books. So if that was something you weren't as big of a fan of, you know, this is like the more traditional books of hers with the darker grey sort of colour. So yeah, I really love this book, and I'm excited to do more in it. So that's the first choice. And by the way, the first 3 books that I'm showing you are from my January haul. So, you know, they're all recent books. So the second one is this book, and this is Wonderland Animals, Fairyland Animals, something like that. I can't exactly remember the title. And this is by an illustrator called Chiaki Karamomo. And again, this is a newer purchase. I haven't started colouring in this yet because I really want to make sure that I put aside time to really work in it, and I don't want to have many whips going on, you know, around it. I really just want to focus on a specific page, and you know, some of them are quite detailed, so I'll need to give quite a lot more time to some of them than others. And because I want to use the reference pictures at the front to colour them in, that will probably, you know, slow down the process a bit, which is absolutely fine with me because I think it's a stunning book. This is probably the one I'm leaning towards doing first. It is a wintry type page, but it doesn't matter. And I'm just so intrigued at how I'm going to try and recreate it. So it's going to be really interesting. But again, it's absolutely stunning. This artwork is so beautiful. And I'm really interested to have a go and see what I can create. So that's the second choice. So again, this book is from, this is a newer purchase, and this is the Posh Colouring Book Inspired by Nature, illustrated by Marjolaine Bastin. And this is the same publisher and same format as the Thomas Kincaid Disney Dreams collection. And for any of you who have been with me for a while, you know that I have a long standing whip in this book, and I would really like to get it finished at some point. But similarly with the Inspired by Nature book, it has the reference picture and then the line art. So again, it will probably take quite a lot of time. But the thing I like about this is that the lines aren't stark black. They are a different colour depending on the image. And one of the kind of standout colours from the image has then been used for the line art, which I really like. I'm leaning towards the Easter Bunny page, this one, because Easter is coming up. It's right at the beginning of April, so really I only have March to do Easter pages and the beginning of April, I guess. And I think this one will take quite a bit of time, so I'm not sure if I'll necessarily get round to that one, or whether I'll do one of the more simple pages in this book. but we'll see. I'm really excited, and it is kind of a smaller book, so you know, in theory it shouldn't take quite as long, but we'll see. I absolutely love it, and the paper is a bit thinner than the Thomas Kincaid one, so if you're considering using watercolour, I'd probably recommend printing it onto watercolour paper. But that's the posh colouring book. Okay, so these next two books are ones that are going to be in my February haul. I finally received Fragile World by Kirby Rosannes, and again with this one, I have got a whip in this at the moment. It's the polar bear page, and I'm doing a buddy colour with the wonderful Effie Colours. So again, I'm not going to show you that. I'm not sure if I'm going to manage to get it finished before the end of February. We'll see. Nevertheless, you know me, I always show my whips in my videos, and so you'll be seeing what I've done so far anyway. But again, there's something about this book, the fact that, you know, there's a meaning behind every page. You get information about all the animals. I love the fact that there aren't any doodles in it, and it's just kind of his pure style, and it's really realistic. I just think it's amazing, and I was so excited when it arrived. So I'm really looking forward to doing more in this, and I do think that with some pictures, yes, they're still detailed, but actually they're still more scaled back, especially the pages like this. You know, you do actually just have the pandas and then the background, you know, you don't have that much. So it's really nice to still have that detailed style of Kirby's, but to have, you know, more of a simple layout of the page. You know, you have the animal and then where it lives, and I love it. It's the same paper and size as always, and I think it's gorgeous. So that's Fragile World. And then there was this new book that came to my attention just a few days ago, and it's this book, and it's the Circle of Life colouring book by Melpomene Chatzipanaghitu. I hope I'm saying that right. And Sue and I were actually talking about it, and she very generously ended up getting it for me, which was so kind of her. Thank you so much, Sue. And I'm so excited to get started in it. I think I came across it on Instagram or Amazon a couple of days or a week or so before it was released, and I am so thrilled with it. I could not believe that it was half price, first of all, on Amazon. I'm not sure if it still is, and it hasn't come out in the US yet, but it is out in the UK. And I was so surprised at what was inside, because no one had done a flip through until, you know, it had been released. And as soon as I saw the flip throughs, I thought, yeah, I've got to get this at some point, because it's just amazing. I still don't know what page is going to be my first page, but I'm really hoping that I can get to it next month, because I am so excited to start colouring in it. It kind of reminds me of Rita Berman's work and Joanna Basford and Kirby, kind of all in one, which is great, because you do have that level of detail, as you do with all three of them. I mean, they all have detailed pages, but it's just lovely, and I really like all of the ones in the circles, especially. So obviously it goes with the theme, but it's really gorgeous, and you know, it's kind of all based around wildlife and flowers and all that stuff that I love. So yeah, it's amazing. So this is, you know, a new book. It has only recently just come out. So yeah, you'll be seeing this being coloured on my channel very soon. So that's the Circle of Life colouring book. And again, that has the same paper and is the same size and format as Kirby Rosannes' books. So if you love his paper in the books, then you'll love this as well. Okay, the next two books are books that I got from the lovely Shannon for my birthday late last year. So again, I just haven't had time to get round to them yet. But the first one we have is the Botanical Affirmations colouring book by Dominika Stopper. And this I am planning to print onto watercolour paper. And the reason being is that this is on CreateSpace paper, and I have nothing against it, but I do think that for me to be able to achieve the effects that I want to, it will just be a lot simpler if I put it onto watercolour paper, because I'd like to use my gouache and see how, you know, how it goes. Again, I like that there's a difference in line art as well, because you do have some bits with thicker line art, and then some of the background leaves and things are a bit thinner. So I think some lovely washes and maybe some detail with pencils and stuff will look good. So yeah, again, I'm just intrigued to see how it goes, and it is a fairly thin book. You get 12 images, I think, but if you're that sort of person who likes completing books, then this probably wouldn't take you that long. But I love the quotes as well, and yeah, it's just a really lovely book and quite a different style as well, so I'm excited to see how I can have a go at colouring it. So that's the Botanical Affirmations colouring book. And then the other book is Yuko Higuchi's Magical Colouring Museum. So this has been out for a long time, and I had seen flip throughs when it first came out, but it kind of just came to my attention again recently, and yeah, I put it on my wish list, and Shannon very kindly bought it for me. So this, if you're someone who doesn't like backgrounds, then this would be a very good book for you, because lots of the backgrounds are already coloured in, and it does have sort of a grayscale effect to it, all of the pictures. Not full grayscale, you know, it's not really dark, but you know, you could very easily just go over with one colour and not bother about shading, and it would still turn out really well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to try, you know, colouring with the background already there, but I think with quite a few of the animals, you know, it will be kind of muted colours, which will be good because it will contrast from the bright pops of colour in the background. So again, I love the fact that it follows a story, so you know, you do have the recurring characters as well. And at the front there is this different, almost kind of parchment paper, which is shiny on one side, and it kind of starts the story off. So it will be really interesting to see how pencil works on it. I'm not sure if pencil would work the best, maybe marker or fine liner or something like that, but yeah, it will be intriguing to see how that works. So again, a very interesting book. It's very unique, and it's a bit smaller than your average size as well, which I think is great. So that's the museum colouring book. Okay, we then have Millie Marotta's Woodland Wild colouring book, and this is her newest book, I think, and I find her style very intimidating, but in a good way, because it is really challenging, and I've seen lots of people do amazing things with this. Some of them have coloured the patterns as they are, some people have ignored the patterns and coloured over them, and some people colour the animals realistically and again kind of ignore the patterns. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet, but I do like the fact in this book that quite a few bits of detail have been scaled back a bit. So you do have pages that are quite a lot less detailed, which is really good because then you can focus on just the main animal. And the one I was drawn to, I mean, it is woodland, so they're not all animals in here, but this was the one I was drawn to. It was the mushroom page. So whether it will be the first one that I do, I don't know, but I do think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I could imagine this one being coloured and keep the patterns in, you know, maybe colour it and then go over some of the patterns with fine liner or gel pen and things like that. So that may be the first one I do, or one of the others, but I'm excited to get to it at some point. So that's Millie Marotta's Woodland Wild. Okay, we then have Seasons by Hannah Carlson, and this book I got fairly recently, and I really wanted to do a winter page in here, but I didn't get round to it. So I'm hoping that I will be able to do one of the spring pictures at the front around, you know, Easter time, because we are coming into spring fairly soon. So I think originally the picture I wanted to do was the reindeer. This one, yeah, it was this one, and I just had quite a few other winter pictures going on, so I didn't really have time for it. But there are so many gorgeous pictures. I mean, lots of the spring and summer ones kind of run into each other a bit, so you could absolutely pick any of them. But this one's gorgeous, but I'm quite intimidated by that one because Peter Hewitt's version that she did was absolutely amazing. So yeah, that one is gorgeous, and again, I'm not sure if I'll get round to it in time before Easter, but we'll see. I do like these pages here where you've just got the small things to colour, because it does, you know, it does make it seem a lot less detailed because you just have the small things to colour. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can find a page in here to do around this time, and then maybe try and do one for every season if I can. That would be really good. So, you know, aim for kind of one page every 3 months or so as we go into the different seasons. Oh, that one's lovely. I love that rose one. So yeah, it's again a gorgeous book, and the thing I like about this especially is there are quite a few animals in it as well, so that's great because I love colouring animals and flowers and all of that. So that's Seasons by Hannah Karzem. And the final book I chose was Voldgefluster. I hope I've said that right, and this is a book by Ursula Schwab. Now I got this book and another of hers. It was Meine Winterwelt, something like that. It was about winter, and yeah, I got them late last year, and I was hoping to do a page in the winter book. Again, I didn't get around to it because I was just quite busy at the end of the year, so I pulled this one out because I thought, even though it's more, you know, linked to autumn and woodland and stuff, there are still pages that you could absolutely colour at any time of the year. And I'm quite a seasonal colourist, so I do tend to colour, you know, around the seasons, unless there's hashtags going on that are kind of different to what the time of year is. But yeah, there are some that I could definitely see myself doing around this time before we do head into autumn again. But yeah, I'm not sure yet whether I'll try doing pencil or marker or what, because it is single-sided apart from having the quotes on the back. So it'll be interesting to see what I decide to do. The paper is fairly thick. It's not the best paper that I've seen, but it's definitely thicker than your Create Space paper. It's fairly good. I'd say it's just maybe a tad thinner than kind of Kirby Roseanne's books, but you know, definitely it'll be fine for pencil. I may even try some pastel backgrounds because that'll be lovely as well. I love to use my pastels, and some of the areas have been greyed out as well, which is really interesting. So you could leave them as they are, we'll go in with a bit of shading on it. But yeah, again, really interesting book, and I'm excited to get working in this one. So they are all the books that I have to show you. I hope you enjoyed watching this sort of thing. I love filming, so yeah, I think this is a great tag. Thank you, Camille, for creating it, and to Rosie again for tagging me. And I'm not going to tag anyone specifically because I am quite late to the tag and lots of people have done it by now. So yeah, anyone who wants to join, I'm sure Camille would be very happy for you too. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what you think of my choices, and if you'd like to let me know in the comments what choices you would have for it, I'd love to know. But yeah, thank you so much to all of you for watching. I hope you're doing well. Please stay safe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone.